hard questions. And I commend you for that. I wish more people would ask more questions and attend the meetings like you do, and I appreciate that. But you're not just asking hard questions. You're making statements as well. And I'm going to go through. What I've done is I've looked through the minutes of the meetings and looked at your statements in the past. I've read your letters to the editor. I've viewed the tapes of the county public input sessions. Excuse me. And tabulated some of the comments and statements you've made in the past. Right now, the town is on a growth stairway. It's a fast and lucrative way to grow the town and will only benefit the same small groups who want to supersize Purcellville for their own personal and political gains. I can assure you that every decision I make is for the best interest of the town, and I believe that's true of all of my colleagues as well. That's the only criteria for making a decision like that. He went on to say in a different setting, it is one thing if the truth, the whole truth, was being put out for the entire community of residents to see, but that's far from the case, assuming that means we're hiding something. You wanted the real truth versus the false truth. You went on to say that the town of Purcellville will do anything necessary to keep all the facts from coming out.
Absolutely.
And at one point, you said that socialist tools are being used.
What?
In a different setting, the town's elected officials are arrogantly continuing to vote 7-0. So we're arrogant. In a different venue, you went on to say that the residents intend to vote in the next election for honest leaders versus the dishonest leaders you have now. Again, I would disagree. The town council brags about spending $2 million for another well, but it happens to be conveniently belong to a local developer. Again, I assume what you're saying is that the criteria for that decision was to benefit other people than the town residents. It went on to say, in a different setting, as you can imagine at this moment, none of you, referring to us here, have my respect or vote.
Amen.
What a legacy you are leaving for the history books. The strategic, carefully orchestrated destruction of the small town of Purcellville by its elected officials.
Good.
You asked the Board of Supervisors to rescue the town residents in Western Loudon and Purcellville. You indicate that the Board of Supervisors made a grave error when they settled with the town of Purcellville. I think you might be the only person in Western Loudon that has that opinion. I believe everyone was pleased when we settled.
No. Living in agreement.
In a different setting, in my conversation with Richard Crandall, I'm sure you will know how to handle our case against the town. On one hand, you've expressed concern about going to court, but I assume this means that you are planning a lawsuit against the town as well. At different times, you've made various allegations against Mr. Beasley, the chair of our planning commission, and Ms. Lair for doing something either in violation of town ordinances or unethical behavior. Again, not true. At one time, you had indicated that we needed to complete the review and revision of Cunningham, and you'd like to see the county request to require by any means necessary. That happened to be the wording I believe that the county used in their resolution, essentially threatening the town to go back to the town of Purcellville, back to the table. We tried. For 4 years, the county delayed going to the Cunningham revision. They were too busy. When we finally came to the table, we could not resolve 2 issues. They walked away and for a period of time refused to meet. He went on to say, the town did not even care about the children. I took that personally offensive. My entire adult life really has been about children. And I can look to my colleagues and realize that all of them have volunteered to serve the children of our community on a regular basis. Another setting you talked about, the town is discussing a major park and ride facility for the county in the UGA north of the bypass. There's a long story that I will simply sum up. It really is not the town, it is the county trying to force a large 250-car park and ride at the intersection of Hurst and 287. We encourage you to look into that one. You indicate the need for the SDR is ridiculous ruse. I disagree. I think the school board disagreed. The Purcellville Business and Professional Association disagreed. VDOT has disagreed. The fire and rescue personnel have disagreed.
All in your pocket.
The point I'm trying to make is you're not just asking questions, you're making statements. And if I'm not warm and fuzzy all the time, it's because I was offended by some of the statements. And that's not important. What's important is I believe that your statements are simply factually not correct.
Oh, is the
Excuse me.
SDR going
Excuse
to
me.
take
Do
traffic
not
off
interrupt me,
Main
Mrs. Brown,
Street?
please.
Mr. Vermecki, is
Do
the
not interrupt me,
SDR
please. I will
going to
not let you
take
talk over me
traffic off
again.
Main
Do you
Street?
understand that?
Brown, Chief, Mrs. Brown, please,
That is a
I
lie.
will not let you talk over me.
please, excuse me, excuse me, please, everyone. Mr. Mackey, Mrs. Brown, let Mr.
This is my opinion.
make his comments.
What is your opinion?
I believe you know the facts are not accurate, and that you're trying to create a false impression of the town of Purcellville. I may be wrong, that's an opinion. I can understand why, I can't explain the reason why, but that's what I believe. Several years ago, before any of us were on the dais here, a group of people made allegations against the town that were outrageous. And I asked one of them once, what is your saying? Why are you saying this? And he said, well, they might be true, the comments were made. They might be true, and that was enough criteria for making the comments. And I think these council members at the time took it stoically. But what I just said I was going to not do, I just did. I raised my voice. But the point is, I'm not going to raise my voice. I'm going to try very hard not to raise my voice. But I just disagree with you, and that's all it is. And I think that the folks here disagree with it. That's all it is. It's nothing personal. It's nothing unethical. It's nothing. It's just a disagreement. Other than that, folks, holiday season, we are blessed in town with a great town staff, as you heard many times. I enjoy working with all of you folks. I really do. We've been very fortunate. We have a great town, and the one thing I'll give you a warning about, if you listen to the weather forecast, it's going to rain tonight. It's going to rain heavy. So I'm hoping that everyone remembers their umbrellas.